It's pick number 1 in your redraft league. The question on your mind, what do you do? Not just in round 1, round 2, round 3, all the way to the end of your draft. What do you do at every single pick? 12-team leagues, snake drafts, etc., etc. The best advice right now. We're going to run a mock draft, a scenario in which I go through every single pick and give you guys the options depending on your draft strategy you want to take. Elite quarterback, elite tight end, hero running back, robust RB, all that good stuff. I'm going to hook you boys up with the best info. Pick number 1. Every single pick you should be making. The guys you should be considering. Store this info in your database, data brain. Call it what you want. Pick number 1 is an easy one. Pick 1, you're on the clock. It's a no-brainer. Jamar Chase. Take a look at his 2024 season. Sure, Jefferson's probably going to be the number 2 pick off boards. Maybe Saquon, maybe Bijan. Depends on your league and what your league mates want. But Jamar Chase is a no-brainer number 1. He was the wide receiver 1 in 2024. 23.7 PPR points per game. There's no reason that should change. Yes, T. Higgins is back. If T. Higgins is healthy, it's not going to matter. We've seen the Bengals defense be so bad, and they have not re-signed Trey Hendrickson, glitch, since I've been recording this. They haven't even signed their Shamar Stewart, their first-round defensive end, right? So Jamar Chase is set to crush in 2025, and I have no doubt that he is a good first overall selection. Now, in a snake draft, the next 2 picks that you have, 24 and 25 overall. Now, as of this recording, ADP 24-25, to make this the best mock draft for you guys, I'm not going to be taking a single player. I'm not going to assume a single person has fallen past ADP. So in your league, you're going to get people that are falling past ADP. People are going to reach. People are going to get the guy they want. And that's going to result in guys that are maybe 22 or 21st ranked being available to you at 24-25. So you'll have to make a judgment decision at that point. We do have videos about the best sleepers, the best breakouts, all that good stuff on the channel. But for the simplicity, I'm going to take guys that I think will be available to you at your pick. 24-25, guess who's ranked 24th and 25th? 24th is James Cook. I'm not super interested in him just because he had 1 touchdown per game in 2024. Any regression, and I'm a little concerned about that. Guess who's 25th? Josh Allen. If you can get Josh Allen right here at the end of the second round, go elite quarterback, that's a pick that I am willing and happy to make a selection on. Looking at Josh Allen, man, like, he was just so dang good that it would be kind of ridiculous to pass on him. He's the QB1 expert ranked, but from 2024 perspective, 22.3 PPR points per game, and the QB2. I think he could even take a step forward. They add Josh Palmer. You have Keon Coleman going into year 2. I think Josh Allen's going to be a very, very good option right here at the 2-3 turn for you if you're the first pick in your draft. Now, obviously, we have a second pick to be making. Now, a couple guys that I would be looking at. I'd be seeing if Drake London or either of the elite tight ends are available. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers. I prefer Brock Bowers over Trey McBride for sure, but Brock Bowers is probably gone. Trey McBride, he might be here, and then you have an interesting choice of going Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Trey McBride, which I actually would be fine with that start as well, but Trey McBride is currently ADP higher than 24 and 25. He's actually, around like 20 right now. So I'm going to go, and the other option you could also have is Drake London falling. If Drake London falls, definitely pair up Drake London with Josh Allen and Jamar. But the guy that I have that is going to be available to me at this current point, he's currently ranked number 31. So we're reaching a little bit, and I'm fine with it. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, don't mind if I do. We now have the wide receiver 1 from last year's 2024 fantasy season, and we have Tyreek Hill, who's basically a top 3 wide receiver finisher when Tua Tagovailoa is healthy. When this guy has a quarterback, there's no doubt in my mind that Tyreek Hill can crush fantasy expectations. 2024, don't look, bro. Shield your eyes. This guy sucked. This guy was trash. But Tua had his brain was scrambled, bro. Like, when he has Tua Tagovailoa healthy, Jonnu Smith is gone. That target share is vacated. Tyreek Hill can be a league winner. Now, if you have a punishment in your league, I might look elsewhere. Look at the guys that I said. See if they fall past ADP. Some other options you could look at, like if Josh Allen's not there, you could also potentially go Lamar Jackson. I'm sure one of them should probably fall. Lad McConkey, people will probably be wanting to get Lad McConkey at this 2-3 turn as well. If Lad falls to the 2-3 turn, Lad McConkey's not a bad pick instead of Tyreek Hill. I feel like Lad McConkey has less upside, but definitely more stability, if that makes sense. But for simplicity, we now have Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill 3 picks in, 0 RBs through the first 3 rounds. What do you think we're doing next? Next picks are picks 48 and 49 overall. Again, we have no running backs. What do we think we're going to do? We're not going George Kittle. I don't think Kittle's going to be available to you at pick 48, at pick 49, but there are going to be some running backs available to you. So 48, 49 right now is the range of like, there's definitely some guys that if they fall, I would kind of like picking up. There's some guys like DK Metcalf, he could fall. Cortland Sutton, Marvin Harrison Jr. Those are guys where they're probably going to be available in this range, but since for the simplicity of this mock draft, I went heavy. I went 2 wide receivers out of the first 3 rounds. We need running backs now. So the running backs available here at 48, 49, you're going to have some rookies. Marion Hampton's going to be there. You're going to have Joe Mixon. You're going to have some guys that Quinshon Judkins, another rookie. The guys that I like that are available at this range. At an ADP of 51, he's been in our sleeper videos for a reason, and I'm not going to pass on him. It's Breece Hall. Breece Hall had a 15.1 PPR point per game finish in 2024. And if we look at this guy's full career, like, he has been a pretty consistently good running back. Fantasy points ranked, RB8. So why is he ranked as the RB12 when he's an RB8 historically throughout his career? I think Breece Hall is poised to return another good, valuable season. So I'll be taking him as my RB1 right here with pick 48. With pick 49, now we have 2 wide receivers. We have a quarterback. We have a running back. Bit more balanced. We can kind of go wherever I want. Now, in this scenario with pick number 1, I would rather go running back here. Why? The wide receivers available at this range, they're tempting. Like, I'd be tempted to go, if there's a falling receiver here, I'd definitely be tempted to go MHJ, DK Metcalf, Sutton. But there is another running back that I like in this range, and I'm just going to secure my RB2 on this team. The balanced approach usually works. It's usually the best way to win money is going balanced. I'm going to go balanced. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift has his former offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. Welcome to Chicago, buddy. DeAndre Swift is going to be just fine this year. Now, 2024, 13.7 PPR points per game, RB23. So why am I taking him early? Why am I kind of reaching on DeAndre Swift? The offense is going to be in the red zone a lot more. Caleb Williams really can't be worse than his rookie year in my eyes. Luther Burns there, Loveland's there. I expect a lot more red zone opportunities for DeAndre Swift. He was involved as a receiver, 25 receiving yards per game. I'm fine taking DeAndre Swift as my RB2 right here. My team is balanced. Now we have two wide receivers, 2 running backs, a quarterback, elite quarterback, and now we can do whatever we want in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rounds 6 and 7. So at picks 6 and 7, it's going to be interesting. We're at 72 and 73. So I'm assuming this is going to be a league where it's 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 quarterback. And I'm just going to call it 2 flex because sometimes you have 3 wide receivers, sometimes you have 1 flex. I'm going to just call it 2 flex spots that we got to fill, right? 72 and 73, we're on the clock. There's a lot that's available to us. If we look at the ADP for 72, 73, like Jordan Addison's there. Jordan Addison is going to be suspended. I'm not interested. Jacoby Myers, it's not bad, but I feel like there's better upside guys there. David Njoku, we could take our first tight end. I'm not taking our first tight end right now, guys, because there's going to be tight end values later on. Just you wait. So at 72, I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. Godwin is actually on the mark ADP of 72. Godwin in 2024. We're going to look just at 2024 for this guy because this guy was elite in 2024. You'll be surprised. Wide receiver number. What was his rank? And he was wide receiver. He had 19 points per game. I'll tell you that right now. Chris Godwin was insane when he was healthy in 2024. He crushed all expectations. This guy could be a league winner, and he deserves to go this early on in a draft. Like round 6 might be too early for him. He was wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2 with 19.7 points per game when he was healthy. Elite numbers. He can be a league winner. Now our wide receiver room is Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin. Wide receiver room looks pretty good. And 3 is really the magic number of guys that you need to be having for wide receiver to feel safe. So the second pick right here, pick 73, it's going to be interesting, right? Like, I could go wide receiver, but then we only have 2 running backs. We took Swift in the last round. Some of the guys available, like, I'd be happy taking Chris Olave right here at pick 73 and going 4 wide receivers, playing catch up a little bit later with running back in the later rounds. But I kind of, in a redraft league, I feel like running backs are definitely going to be bumped up the board in terms of ESPN, sleeper ratings and all that. So running back depth might dry up pretty quick. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a running back option. Now, Tony Pollard is ranked 71. We're 72 and 73. I told you I wouldn't reach, or I wouldn't go ahead of ADP, right? I wouldn't assume guys fell. So I can't take Tony Pollard, but I would. So I'm going to have to reach a little bit. Currently ADP 83, so it's a bit of a big reach. I'm going to go with Travion Henderson right here. Now, there obviously is other rookie running backs out there you could potentially be looking at. You could be looking at Caleb Johnson in this range. Even Isaiah Pacheco is not awful. But if you're going Isaiah Pacheco, I'd actually rather have Olave or a receiver and then catch up running back later. But Travion Henderson here seems like a good option. Why? There's upside. What if DeAndre Swift busts? It's okay. We have Travion Henderson, who's going to have a receiving role. Could be an Alvin Kamara type back in New England. So now at running back, Travion Henderson is currently bench/flex for us. So our team's looking pretty solid through these first couple of rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have picks 8, 9, and picks 10, 11 left. We're going to call it a draft at 11 rounds. So at the 8, 9 turn, our team's looking pretty balanced, but 3 wide receivers. I like to have another receiver at this point. And we're also missing a position. We're starting a tight end every single week in our draft. And in the 8th, in the 9th round, I think it's time to take our first tight end. Now, there's some guys that I also consider here, like if you didn't go elite quarterback, this is kind of where the quarterbacks, you hope to get some. So you're at 96, you're at 97. All the quarterbacks are kind of ranked like 80 to 90 in ADP. You got Kyler Murray, you got Baker Mayfield, you got Bo Nix. So if one of those guys falls and you don't have an elite quarterback, take your first quarterback here. My favorite quarterback that I would take here would be Kyler Murray. We already have Josh Allen, so we are okay. So we are going to take somebody, though. We're going to take a tight end, our first tight end off the board. It's not Tyler Warren. It's not Colston Loveland because they're already like 2 rounds after this in terms of their ADP. It's Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft had a very good 2024 season. He's heading into year 3. He took the starting job from, what was his name, Luke Musgrave in 2024. This guy wasn't even the starter, and now he is. So I feel like the sky is the limit for Tucker Kraft. Now, is his number of opportunities going to potentially be capped because of how good the receiving core is in Green Bay? Maybe. Or the Packers have to pass the ball more, and they can because Jordan Love is now healthy. He averaged 9.6 PPR points per game in 2024. He was a tight end 15 finisher, but his snap share was there. Look at his yards per out run. 3.2 yards per out run from the big man tight end. Yeah, I will take this guy all day, and I'll be happy with him as my tight end 1. And you'll see what we do in the next pick. But so the next pick right here, finishing off pick number 9 at 97. Again, we have 3 running backs. We have 3 receivers. Now I'm kind of just taking the best available, the best guy that I like right here. The best guy that I like right here, I mean, it might be receiver. It might be Keon Coleman to pair up with Josh Allen. It might be Michael Pittman Jr. And I think I am going to go Keon Coleman. Like, I'm kind of fading Keon Coleman, but when you have Josh Allen, when you have a elite quarterback, Keon Coleman right here kind of seems like a no-brainer. You only have 3 wide receivers, so I will go Coleman. If you're playing catch-up at running back, Cam Scatabo in this range would be a good selection. But since we took Travion Henderson in the last round, I just feel like we can't go ahead and pass on him. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Keon Coleman. I got to write this down so I can make sure I tell you guys my team at the very end here. And wrapping things up at the 10-11 turn. Picks 10, pick 11. Our team's balanced. 4 receivers, 3 running backs, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end. I'm going to have some fun with it. I feel like my team is balanced. Now you can just take your favorite player available. So looking at what the pick number is, we're at ADP of 120 and ADP of 121 right now. Guys like Zach Charbonnet, Jake Ferguson, Najee, Jordan Mason, Rachaad White. So that's what I'm saying. The running backs are now dusty, like Rachaad White, Jordan Mason, Najee Harris. It's kind of dusty, which is why I'm glad I took Travion Henderson for some depth at the RB position. You could potentially say, listen, take a 4th running back like Rachaad White. I'm not doing that, man. I'm fine with the 3 running backs, and then we kind of go with some of the guys later that are more handcuff backs. We have 3 running backs that will score us points, and the 3rd one is kind of a higher upside guy. We really rely on Breece Hall and DeAndre Swift. So what I'm going to do here, something interesting. So at an ADP of 122, Tyler Warren. So if Tyler Warren is available here, if he's not available here, you can also take a look at Colston Loveland, but typically Loveland goes a little bit earlier. Tyler Warren is projected to be a little bit after this pick. Now, I'm sure Tyler Warren's probably going to be rising up draft boards as we get closer to draft time, but Tyler Warren is a pretty solid handcuff option we have to Tucker Kraft. Now, I say that because Tyler Warren I expect to score a lot of points this season, but it's going to take some time to blossom. The Colts don't even know who their quarterback's going to be, so we're relying on Tyler Warren to get some points in the second half of the year rather than the first half. Tucker Kraft, first half? Second half of the year? Tucker Kraft's hurt. Tucker Kraft's trash. Who cares? We got big man Warren, who just was a top 15 NFL draft pick. So I'm going with a backup tight end right here over any of the other positions. Now, some of the other guys you can consider here, you got Darnell Mooney, you got Josh Downs. If either of those guys fell, I would love them. Final pick we're going to be making is actually another bench player, a backup quarterback. And I'm going with Justin Fields. We already have Josh Allen. So Josh Allen's going to be in our starting rotation, starting lineup every single week of the season. But Justin Fields is kind of just too good to pass for me. Do you guys know that Justin Fields, when he started in 2024, he was the QB7 in the weeks that he was a full-time starter? Justin Fields had a season when it was like year 2 in his career. I would pull it up. I don't feel like it. He had 75 rushing yards per game in that season. The Jets aren't going to be very good. We have Breece Hall on our team. What if the Jets are better than expected? I'm going to take Justin Fields as my QB2 right here. And Fields, we don't expect to have him in our lineup, but if something happened to Josh Allen, or if we like Justin Fields' matchup, Justin Fields comes out, he's crushing, he's at 60 rushing yards a week, depending on your scoring format, Fields is a very solid QB2 option to have. So that wraps up our first 11 rounds. This is how it went. Our team, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift, Chris Godwin, Travion Henderson, Tucker Kraft, Keon Coleman, Tyler Warren, and Justin Fields. Team, not so bad through 11 rounds. 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, 2 QBs, 2 tight ends. Last couple of rounds, I'm finishing. Two tight ends, 2 QBs, I'm done. In fact, in a redraft league, you might not even take Justin Fields right there. You might even just keep Josh Allen as your only QB rostered. I don't hate that, but at the same time, I'd rather have the security. I'd rather have the security blanket of a backup quarterback with upside as well. Now with 4 wide receivers and 3 running backs, next couple of rounds I'd be smashing wide receivers, smashing running backs, trying to get as much depth in this position as I can. That is the draft strategy from the number 1 pick. Let me know what you guys think. Smash the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.